How to deal with losses in life. Well, let me tell you a little bit of my story. I was born in Warsaw, Poland in 1986. I traveled to 39 countries on 4 different continents throughout my life. Now, you may say that in the beginning I had a privileged position. In 1992, after the second Gulf War, I was studying in British Arabic schools in Manama, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, Fujairah, and so on and so on. So I didn't come from a rich family, a family of musicians, but eventually I found enough resilience and commitment and motivation in my young life to make something of myself. And I believed in hard work, that you start from zero and you climb up. I worked as a bartender, a cleaner, a waiter, a linen porter, a stable boy, a butcher's assistant. Then I moved into the IT, into corporations after finishing my university education back in Britain, international politics and intelligence studies, where I claimed the bachelor's certificate. Now, throughout 17 years after my studies, during the third year, my mind was maliciously destroyed. And for 17 years, I've been suffering from millions of attacks on my nervous system, psionic magical damage by idiots and cretins that ruined all my dreams and all my plans and everything that I believed in. Now, how do you make meaning? You coin meaning each time you lose your past meaning. So I may say that my time on earth that was supposed to be committed to the people and politics was wasted. My whole life was wasted. Who's gonna believe that? Like, we don't play what ifs. But I knew of my little commitments and missions designated before I was born. So all of that was completely annulled, cancelled and destroyed, since I was a menace to status quo, to some power stools and echelons. However, that's not about this. This is a story that I carry on to my grave, between me and the gods and the dead and the demons and spirits. However, how not to lose your will to live, even if you undergo terrible hell, lose all your dreams. Everything that you believed in is destroyed. Your loved one's soul is destroyed. Your daughter is to be wiped out of the possibility of being born. So there is a thing about anger and frustration and bitterness that after some years it settles down. If you have the right method, you find tranquility and say, yes, that. And remembering all that, remembering all the losses and all the sufferings and pain and torment and injustice suffered, you tend to deal with that. And you understand the fools and cretins that destroyed you. You don't forgive them, you don't forget that. But you move along. A human being is very adaptive to the war's anomalies and sufferings and traumas in his or her life. And it is up to yourself and perhaps your mentors or people that guide you, how you will shape your experience and what will you derive out of it. And if you arrive now at nothing, I mean, if you lose everything, if you lose absolutely everything you believed in, and all your dreams are destroyed, or your well-intended commitments are cancelled, then you live on, because that's the nature of life. If you go through hell, keep on going, grind your teeth, bite through the rotten meat, keep on going. It won't get any lighter perhaps, but it will tend to adapt. The thresholds are raised higher of experience. And you need to adapt to that too. So despite your wounds, despite scarification, you go on. Because you must. because that's the biological impulse of life. Self-preservation, survival, you go on. Now, where is metaphysics in all that? It gives consolation, because even if you lose everything, absolutely everything in life, but you are rewarded by seeing the spirits, the gods, even if not. You find yourself in a position that mortal life is very short. It's like a droplet in a sea of existence. And this is the dukkha, the lessons in suffering, and how you approach it, how you coin it heroically, arithmetically, arya, ikali, in order to overcome it. Because there is true heroism in overcoming pain, losses, suffering. There is no heroism in suffering or just breaking under all. It's just weakness. Of course, there are sensitivities that vary, and some sensitive people can stand it, I understand it. But even to sensitive people, if you survive it and adapt and rearrange yourself, there is something like neurological rewiring. You tend to adapt to the most atrocious, extreme circumstances on earth.